Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Pro Podcast. I'm your host Otiato Guguyu. With me in studio is
Jacobayo.
This week we were having a very interesting conversation about the evolution of media.
Yeah.
Having been in the industry for
10 years.
For 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
It's you need a moment to just appreciate that.
Or I give myself another introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from wherever you're watching from. Yeah.
So over the 10 years, what have you just it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
What are your reflections from these 10 years?
Man, it's been a journey. It's been a long journey. I started off in the media industry as an intern. As a production assistant. Production assistant ni ule mse mwenye usaidia maproducer, madirector, ma-anchors, na reporters. Weni mtu wa mkono yani. In short, you are a runner. You just run around the newsroom. Wewe, endo fanye hiyo. You know, yeah. So, I started off as a production assistant from college, Technical University of Kenya, and I was so green because, you know, the textbook knowledge of journalism is totally different from the practical journalism.
So true.
Like they said, kwa ground vitu ni different.
So true.
It's a culture shock when you get into a 24-hour newsroom. And I got into Standard Media Group when there was no KTN News. It was just KTN Home and Radio Maisha and Standard Newspaper and the Nairobian. And that was just it. But then came in the evolution of 24-hour news channel. I think my former employer was trying to embrace the CNN of, CNN of those days, to just give us live news where we are at the touch of a button in Kenya. And for us, that was a game changer. But what did it mean? It meant that we had to adjust. We were used to, you come in the morning and just produce the morning show. And
that's it.
You wait until 1 o'clock, and then again 4 p.m. news, and then again 7 and 9 p.m. news. But now we're in a situation whereby the clock starts running at 5 a.m. in the morning until midnight, and it's 24 hours. It's news, bulletin after bulletin and after bulletin after bulletin, and I think for me, as a production assistant, that was a game changer for me because it meant go beyond your comfortability. It meant you learn new things. From a production assistant, I became a producer. From a producer, I became a director. And it reached a point where I was like, you know what? I need to start thinking of different things. I need to start thinking of how I can diversify past the newsroom. What will happen to me past the newsroom?
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Before, why were you getting the vibes that there's something that there was life beyond newsroom? Because I think for what we used to see in Yakina Mambo Botella when you are as a young person growing up and aspiring to be a journalist, you sort of assume that you'll be in the industry and grow old into the industry and sort of become an expert. Somebody refers to you, but what were you seeing that ilikuwa inakwambia, man, you need to sort of find, the telltale signs?
When you stay in the newsroom and you stay with these legends and you see like the kind of moves, the boss moves they're making and the diversification in the industry, you're like, I need to start thinking big. I need to start thinking past just being a news director, past just being a programs producer. And you're like, I want to make a mark in the industry. What can I do to be different? I'm not a TV reporter. I'm not a news reporter. I'm behind the scenes. Who knows me behind the scenes? Who cares about me behind the scenes? Nobody. This is the interesting part about the viewer. The viewer doesn't care what's happening behind the scenes.
Exactly.
They just want to see the product. And you have to deliver. They don't care whether you're sick or not. So I was like, what do I want to do past this newsroom? And I guess that is when I started falling in love with film.
Uh-huh.
And that meant learning more of TV directing, learning more of program producing, learning more of how things work.
Yeah.
You know, what you're used to is the end product on TV, but how does things work in the industry?
How does it get to that?
How do we get that news from the field, process that news for the viewer sitting at the comfort of the couch in his house, in his 72-inch screen, to enjoy that content? So for me, like, how do you get, how do you create content and get money out of the content? How do you bring in the customers that pump money into that content? So for me, those 10 years was a game changer to me. And when my end of 10-year tenure reached, I was like, you know what, God, I need this. I need to get out of the newsroom. Can you just axe me out of this place?
So you are ready for the exit?
I was praying for the exit, bro. I was praying for that exit. I was like, I need this. I need this because my life depends on it.
You know, a lot of journalists didn't transition per se that way. A lot of journalists, some because we are having this conversation, they didn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
So for you, at least you had started thinking of what do I get to be after I leave here, and learning the ropes of how to become that.
Yeah.
But when the moment came for you to leave the newsroom, how did you take it?
First of all, I was happy. And this is by the way, people never believe this.
Yeah.
And this is a story I always tell people. I've told this story when I was called to give a talk at the Technical University of Kenya, my former university, and guys were like, "Yo, we are dreaming to get into the newsroom.
And you're
working for KTN News, bana. It's a big deal." And you're like, "You want out?" It's like you being in a very beautiful relationship and you say, "You know what, babe, I want out." Yeah.
and guys
like, why do you want out? You know, people don't understand. But for me, it was like, you know what? I think first of all, I'm always hungry for growth. I always have that hunger for growth. I'm like, I don't want to stay in a long place for a long time.
Don't understand.
And I was like, man, 10 years. Nimejaribu sana. I want to get out of this place and do something meaningful with my life I want to start touching lives and telling stories. Because at the end of the day, I was like, when I was in the newsroom, people used to push me, man, Ayo, you can do this, man. Enda mbele ya camera and talk to people. And I'm like, hey, this thing is not for me. This is not for me. Me and my introverted self, I'm an ambivert. Me in front of a camera, what am I going to say mbele ya watu? No. But then when I got out of Standard Media Group, I was like, well, I can do this. Let me try it out.
You know, for me, when I was in the newsroom, I was a newspaper journalist.
Yeah.
Typical writer who operates behind the byline, never shows your face. So, and sometimes they used to call us and say that you have written a very good story. Can you come and discuss it in the evening news?
In the news.
Break it down for guys. I'm like,
no, Abra, no.
You go and read the story and find and interpret it the way you want to be, but I'm not getting behind the camera. Yeah, mimi ni mtu wa nyuma ya nini, behind the scenes. I don't want to be known. I don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
But then here I am.
I know. So for me, it was like I said, it was a game changer. Like they say, man, there's something that I got out of my story, Maze. Growth will never be comfortable. You will never grow in your comfort zone.
Kabisa.
And you need something very uncomfortable to make you feel very uncomfortable, to feel that pinch and pain, to push you forward. If you acclimatize all that pain and make that pain into something beautiful, and you don't become bitter about it and say, I want to use my scars to inspire other people. I want to use my pain to grow myself and grow other people. Then you'll start looking at life differently.
Exactly.
But if you want
mindset
is
growth
everything.
mindset.
Growth mindset. Because I'll tell you for a fact, if I give you 20,000 shillings to start a project and you're like, hey Maze, this 20,000 shillings won't be enough. But if you can use this kidogo money to propel you to the next step. Exactly. Because this kidogo money is better than nothing.
Definitely.
Yeah? My mom once told me something, that don't look at the now. Look at tomorrow. Angalia hii 20k inaweza kusaidiaje? Inaweza kutoa hapa penye huko
kupeleke point
na we
invest
ikutoe from point A to point B, because hata ukilipa fare ni investment. Ukienda place unaenda like una invest yo 60 bob kwa fare kwenda ku get something even better. So it's an investment. You look at it as this 20 Gs inaweza ni propel from this point A to the next step, and yes, it's not what I want right now, but what do I want in the next 2 weeks, or what do I want in the next 3 months, or in the next 5 years? You understand? Because it starts with a single step. They say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and you have to trust and believe that enyewe my journey has to come from,
and it has to start
from somewhere.
It has to start from somewhere. You don't have to get to wherever you need, but
and I'll tell you for a fact, with the number with the other employees that we were asked with, like, I won't mention names, but there's a dude that spent like almost like 15 years in that, even more than me. Like, he trained me. The dude trained me literally from a zero from a zero mileage car to gari unaweza toka nao Nairobi na nao Mombasa. Now he was complaining. I'm like, dude, what are you doing in this company all these years, bana?
You should have at least thought about this.
Let me tell you, when I realized that I didn't need that space. Like, me, I'm always self-driven. I love what I do. I'll do it with money or without, as so long as inanipatia hiyo contentment that enyewe nilifanya job fit hapo. Nilifika point nikiamka asubuhi sijisikii kwenda job, niko like hizi drive ilikuwa inakatika every single day. Drive inakatika, man. Ko like, man, hapo ndo nikapata.
But question ni why? Why?
I think pia ni venye nilianza spendangi kwa comfortable. Nataka kitu nani challenge, nataka kitu naniambia.
So in short,
new challenges.
Ushafika place where uko now running the mill, as in you're just doing this thing
for the sake.
You know, there's something you mentioned that you wanted to leave Newsroom to do stories that are impactful.
Yes.
How comes that is it not possible to do impactful stories while
well it is
it
but I think bureaucracy, man.
The structures,
politics, structures, politics. Una get plus unataka kufanya kitu poa, mara unaambiwa wewe bana tujalipo for 5 months bana, hii nguvu unatoa wapi? Hii utafanya peke yako. You understand? But uko like, man, nikifanya hii story inaweza nigroisha, nikifanya hii show hivi inaweza nigroisha, but mara hakuna kamera, mara kuna watu wali left, there are no enough cameramen.
There was, because ilifika to time it was so
exactly
Niko like drive ilikuwa across board.
It's never that serious. I'll tell you for a fact, there was this point where I used to produce, and I keep on bragging about this and unapologetically. I used to produce the biggest Rumba show in East and Central Africa. And man, my show used to garner like even more than 2 million views every single Saturday from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. I used to garner more than 2 million. Do you know what that means for a rating on a TV show, bro?
Now, nimeanza ku understand the what happens in the market. That's a very big rating.
Bro,
if you can get 2 million people to watch your show,
that was huge.
That is huge.
For me, that was a game changer. Na nilisema I want to do this show because I love what I do, and I love doing what I love doing. I love doing what I do with minimal effort, because nitaifanya with minimal effort, like, because it's something that I dream, it's something like I see before I even start doing it. Mimi nakwambia, I used to script from my shows a week, like even 3 weeks earlier for a show ya, because my show used to run every Saturday. Like, show ya the next month nishapanga. Show ya Saturday, the 4th Saturday of the next month nishapanga, na najua ni nani atakam, nani atakuwa, guest mgani nitaleta, ni nini tutadiscuss. I was that passionate. Na I used to give crazy ideas to the BEs, the business executives, niko like hii show
Mkifanya hivi.
na imagine unapatia msao commercial hadi idea hii show ende uze hivi cause unaelewa show kushinda mtu wa commercial cause unajua before script unajua hii show nikileta who guest at attract this kind of audience na hii kind of audience ina resonate na hii kind of brand naambia so approach this brand so that they come sponsor this show for the next 1 month na ndio kitu nimewapangia. I used to make easy, I used to give them very easy time unaget, and for me that used to work so cool with me.
Yeah. So we'll take a short break and then we'll come back. We conclude this conversation about the evolution of media, how some of us have experienced it, how some of us are seeing it evolve into the future. This is Pro Podcast. Welcome back to this episode of Pro Podcast. Now, a very interesting thing. Juzi tumesikia, you know, sometimes some of these days you can get into the newsroom alafu msana anashare link ya Luke Mulunda ameweka Business Today Standard or Nation to fire 100 report. Unajua uko ndani ujika huko kwa list ama kwa nini. So how was your exit?
Maze mi exit yangu mimi niliombea. Acha nikwambie kitu serious, kitu funny ya. Tuki step into 2023 that last 31st 31st nilienda church nikava personal conversation with God, nikaambia God unajuaje honestly mimi nimefika place nimechoka na this year nataka ikuwe flawless so kama unaona kuna kitu yoyote inaenda kunideter from reaching my purpose, your purpose in my life mazi ikate nje iwe ni job yangu iwe ni dem fulani ananisumbua akili unaget iwe ni dem fulani ananisumbua akili iwe sijui ni job gani ikate tu nje iwe sijui ni deal gani inaenda kunipatia pressure ikate tu nje, just stop it unaget and what was the first thing that happened in January 17th of January in fact 16th of January nimeona email zilitumwa sijui on HR ni nini mi nilikuwa nisha switch off kwa hiyo kampuni. Mimi sikuwa nasoma emails bro. Siko baya maze. Sikuwa nasoma emails. Unaget? Because inafikanga point fatigue. And na easy about attitude ama mtasemeo niko na kiburi wa attitude. It reaches a point that you just feel fatigued on some certain stuff.
Yeah.
Na niliambiwa sijui kuna email. Okay. Kasema yes, finally. Niko sure hisi promotion hii kampuni saizi haina do, haizi nipatia promotion, haizi nipatia sijui salary raise, ni kufutwa. Kazi nafutwa. God, you're answering my first prayer. Nilienda ka HR comfortably, like confidently. Nikamwambia, oh, you know why we've called you. Nikamwambia, guys, I've prayed for this, just get done with this. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? And they were like, oh, trust me, my boss.
They were surprised.
And the HR, they were surprised. Because everyone was coming there.
Counseling.
Why after this we have counseling. I don't need counseling. God is my counselor. He's been counseling me for the last, you know. So I was like, me, I'm okay. So just tell me where to sign. We get done with it.
Get over and done with this.
We get over and done with this, man. I just want to go and see what the world has in store for me. Unaona? Because nimekuwa kwa iko cocoon for the last 10 years and I need to spread my wings and fly. And I think this is the time. It's uncomfortable, but I have to fly.
And which reminds me, I also remember when my exit was coming, I sort of saw it. Nilijua. Nilikaza kuona tu this thing is not working because I'd already left Nation and I was trying out in some other startup somewhere else, but it wasn't working. So I sort of just saw it coming, and I was like, okay, sometimes these things happen. So I think when you're psychologically prepared, this thing doesn't shock you at all, because you're like, oh well, you know, I don't know what it took me to get here. Unasema God alinitoa akanileta up to this point. I didn't necessarily engineer this myself.
Exactly.
A lot of things happened to get me to this particular place.
Unaget.
Now where I'm going, I'm also not so sure. Naweza kuwa na direction nikasema I want to go this direction, and then God takes over. Atakudeliver. So just keep the eye on the ball and just move. Na utafika. Nikasema all right, let's see where it will. But the interesting part ni after the fact, now you are out. How has it been?
First of all, it's been interesting because me, I just took I took a leave of sijui job hunting. Nilisema mimi
kurudi dad immediately.
Mimi nilisema mimi natakwenda kurelax. Naget. Natakwenda kurelax. The first thing that I'm doing, I'm going to start back home. Back to the grassroots level. Nikarudi Ocha. Sema mam, mimi nakuja shags. Na sitaki kusumbuliwa. Sina pesa.
Usiulize maswali vingi.
Sina pesa. Na msi expect sijui nini. But I had a few chums. So what I did, I paid rent. And I did a few shopping for Madhe. And I went to shags. My friend, it was the Buddha din Linona. I'm not saying, what are you saying, bana? Nilinona. Because nikasema, so what I've been seeking for is just peace of mind. Sometimes we think that these jobs give us peace of mind. They don't, man.
Man, and peace of mind is actually more important than anything else.
Yeah.
I used to do my personal writing canon at the job. Like whenever I would go home in the evening, if I have the space in my mind, I can just sit down and do my own writing. But when I was in a certain space of mind, I had a writer's block, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe something that I've done ever since I was a kid. Nimeshindwa. Peace of mind inaweza kukutoa, unaweza kuwa in a space where you there's nothing, you can't do anything. Ama when you unasema you wake up in the morning and the ukimagine too like I'm going to do this again, unatamani tu kurudi ujifunike ulale. But with the peace of mind ukipata, every day is bright.
And one interesting thing is like hauna do lakini ikusumbue akili.
Imagine
like hauna pesa, like you don't even care where your rent is gonna come from, but
I would default anyway.
In fact, trust me, when I left now my employment, like I paid my rent on time compared to when I was employed. I was like, huh? What is this? I never went to bed hungry compared to when I was employed. Nico, like,
imagine,
huh?
Well, confined spaces.
And trust me, I'm not that person wa kutokanga kwenda kutembea. Mimi naweza kaa kwa nyumba yangu for 5 days mfululizo bila kukanyaga. Hata maneiba wajuangi gani iko kwa hiyo nini. I'll just sit there, I have internet, I'll do my research, write my own scripts, nini and all that kind of stuff. And I do what I love, and mimi niko sawa listening to my rumba music there, unbothered about what's happening. Sijui mnaniuliza sijui naona kwa WhatsApp groups sijui nini ilifanyika kwa news. Sija watch your news for the last 1 month. What mnaniambia nini? Yeah, so and then nika realize saa zingine sijitafutia shida. Unaget? Saa zingine tunafikiria when you have money is good. Sijasema money don't imba. Don't
ni important.
Lakini saa zingine
peace of mind is more important.
First. Yeah, it comes first. So as for me, I believe everything worked for my good, and I rediscovered myself. I started doing film critiques on YouTube. I started doing my favorite rumba music critiques and telling stories that people don't know.
You showed me something, and you told me a very interesting thing. Tell me this story that you ulikuwa mtu wa behind the scenes.
Yes.
Now here you are out of the newsroom and you're experimenting.
Yeah.
With just your phone.
Yes, without just my phone.
No equipment, nothing.
So lighting tunategemea Mungu aweke sunshine. Ipite kwa nini kwa dirisha.
Tell me of that experience and what it taught you about what the possibilities of this nini.
You see when I left the newsroom, I was like I used to have this mindset of I want to do serious films and all that, but I want to do with high-tech cameras, but nilikuwa like, hiyo do inatoka wapi? I have a phone. This phone is the best in the market so far. Why don't I use this opportunity to tell stories through smartphone videography? I tell stories through my phone. And hii ni kitu yenye you don't even need much. You just chomoa it on your whatever, on your mfuko, and you record whatever you're recording. Edit it nicely on your phone. CapCut iko. editor utanini, and then there's right now there's an app that if you want to do serious 4K film, you download that app and you use it to it color grades. Mase technology tatpeleka mbio sana. You color grade everything in a kanika Netflix. My phone shoots in 8K. Uko like, god damn, hiki tunaweza fanya. So that is when I started like recording myself, and it was crazy. I'm like, mimi naongea mbele ya camera na dress wase mbele ya menjes. Niko like, let me experiment it. I did that. Posted on TikTok. I was like you know, me, I'm not in front of the camera kind of person. So even my TikTok was very dormant. I never used to post anything. My TikTok ilikanga na footage moja fulani hapo, niliuploadingi sijui last year for the longest time possible. It had 600 views. Na it stayed there for some time. Me with my sijui 10 followers. Bro, I experimented this thing. In 48 hours, I moved from 10 followers. I think the last time I checked, I was hitting 1,000. I was like, god damn. So as I create content.
Yeah.
Sasa acha pia mimi nijiambia mimi ni content creator. Musiki watu wanajiambia I'm an influencer. Mna influence nini? What are you saying? Mna influence nini? So pia mimi naweza jita influencer. Brands, please come to me. Niko na followers bwana.
And do you know what, like the point I was trying to drive across Nyeti, a lot of people have been doing this, a lot of amateurs have been doing this from their own homes, blah blah blah. But you know, with us, we have a little bit of skill with a decade of the news experience, with a decade of understanding how audiences work. Kama venye umerani yo show yako, yo show ya Saturday, yo ya Rumba. There's something that you have learned. If you put a little bit of that, just a little bit of e-skills into the creativity bit, then you're opening a whole new level of operation.
New level of
you're bringing in a bit of professionalism into content creation. And which brings me to the point of where do you see now the future of industry yetu ikienda?
I think the future is in storytelling, and the future is in professional storytelling, and the future is within the comfort of our finger. It's in our fingertips, and if we can use that knowledge, that journalism we got from school, and the experience we got into from someone's media house, and now put it on smartphone, smartphone cinematography and smartphone journalism, we can change how storytelling is done, because we no longer wait for news to air at 9 p.m. You can get it instantly, and if we can do it like now instantly and give it instantly, the more chances we have of winning. And if we can convert the numbers we have into money, we monetize it, that is everything. Because right now, and I'll tell you for a fact, I was when we met at the Beyond the Newsroom
training at Agakani.
The workshop, and one thing that I learned is that we can revolutionize the newsroom into giving people instant updates of what's happening. You don't even have to be, you can self-employ yourself with your skills.
Exactly.
Because I mean, like I always say, I didn't go to school to grab my bachelor's degree just to work for someone for the rest of my life.
Of your life.
Like I also need to mentor people to be better journalists, to be better storytellers, to be better videographers and all that. So why don't I use my whatever I have right now to get whatever I want? Like I use whatever you have to get to whatever you want. Like we started that 5K that you have right now, use it to get you to the 1 million shillings that you want. It's possible.
It's possible.
You know, and the future of newsroom, the future of journalism and film is in the comfort of our mentality. Yeah, I sit down, I create. I sit down, I think of how can I manipulate this to suit me. I sit down and I ask myself, how can I use this message that I have to manipulate it to create something beautiful to suit my audience. Yeah, and you tailor make it to suit your audience, and you're like, wow. Yeah. So
and it gets you from 10 followers to 1,000 followers.
It gets you from 10 followers to 1,000 followers in less than 48 hours.
Less than 48 hours. So there you have it. This has been another interesting pro podcast episode. My guest was Jacob Ayo.
Yeah.
And watch this space. This is a very interesting space. I don't know. I wanted to say I shit you not. But this is a very interesting.
Are we allowed to curse on this podcast?
You can. Definitely you can. So I shit you not. Watch this space.
Yeah.
As we sort of take journalists to the next level.
Yeah.
Thank you.